We are conditioned to look for inspiration in the extraordinary. We look at the mountaintops, the multi-million dollar boardrooms, the high-end fashion runways of Milan, or the grid at a MotoGP race. We think greatness only speaks in luxury, but truth doesn't care about price tags. Truth shows up wherever human psychology is at play. Yesterday, I needed a new car battery. Simple task. Actually, today, ordinary day, I walked into a local Walmart, made my way back to the automotive section, and waited for an associate. A worker stepped up to help me. He was wearing the standard issue blue Walmart vest, nothing glamorous on paper. But then he started walking. And the moment he guided me down the aisle, everything changed. I stopped looking at the batteries and started looking at his vest. First thing that hit me wasn't what he said, it was how he carried himself. Every single step had intention. There was no slouching, no dragging of the feet, no air of a man just punched, clocking his way through an 8-hour shift to collect a check. He exuded this undeniable aura of confidence, belonging, and genuine self-esteem. Why? Because he belonged to something. In that square footage of the automotive aisle, that blue vest wasn't just a uniform. It was his armor. It was an emblem. To him, he wasn't just an employee. He was part of an organization, a tribe, a collective family. He knew exactly who he was in relation to the environment around him. He had an identity, and that identity dictated his posture, his presence, and his pride. It struck me right there, standing under those harsh fluorescent lights. Identity shapes the person, and the tribe solidifies the identity. Let's break down the anatomy of what happened in that aisle. Human beings have an ancient, deeply rooted need for architecture, not just physical buildings, but social and psychological structures. They need to know where they stand when a person feels isolated, detached from a vision, a purpose, or a collective. Their posture reflects it, their life reflects it, they drift. The Bible says, without vision, people perish, something to that effect. But the moment you place an individual into a framework that matters to them, a transformation occurs. Look at what that blue vest represented for that worker. It gave him 3 distinct psychological pillars. Belonging. He wasn't navigating the world alone. He was backed by an entity. Confidence. He possessed specific localized knowledge. He knew the domain, he knew where the batteries were, and he knew how to solve a problem. Self-esteem. He felt valuable because his role within that collective framework had utility. This is the exact point where standard modern marketing completely misses the mark. Average brands think they are in the business of selling commodities. They think Walmart sells batteries, or that a clothing label just sells fabric with a logo slapped on it. They are wrong. Commodities are cheap. Identity is priceless. That worker didn't derive his pride from the literal lead-acid batteries on the shelf. He derived his pride from his position within the organization. He felt the weight of the collective behind him. If a standard corporate environment can cultivate that level of presence and self-worth through a simple uniform, imagine what happens when you build a tribe based on a higher consciousness. Imagine what happens when the garment you wear isn't a corporate mandate, but a badge of personal power. This brings us directly to the core of why we are here. This is the very foundation of the super-eminent mindset. And I don't mean higher consciousness in a new age sense. That's not what I'm talking about. When I design a garment, when we talk about an oversized boxy silhouette or a 300 GSM ultra heavyweight cotton, I am not just engineering a piece of streetwear. I don't care about superficial trends. I care about structure. I care about weight. Why? Because weight has presence. When you drop a heavy, perfectly structured garment over your shoulders, it forces a physical reaction. Your shoulders square. Your posture adjusts. You feel the physical boundary of what you are wearing. It is tactile armor. It is the modern equivalent of the blue vest, but stripped of corporate compliance and injected with raw, independent power. Identity dictates behavior. If you view yourself as ordinary, you will walk through the world with an ordinary stride. You will accept ordinary outcomes. You will blend into the background noise of a chaotic world. But when you align yourself with a tribe that demands more, your identity shifts. The super eminent society isn't a fan base. It isn't a demographic on a spreadsheet. It is an exclusive inner circle of people who refuse to drift. When you wear the emblem, you are signaling to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you belong to a collective of creative operators, independent thinkers, and high utility individuals. You are stepping into a lineage of pride. You are anchoring your identity to something special. Think about the contrast. Most people wake up every day and put on clothes that are completely anonymous. Fast fashion, flimsy fabrics, meaningless logos. They are dressing their bodies in a reflection of their own internal drift. They have no armor, so they have no presence. They walk through the world like they are apologizing for taking up space. We don't apologize for taking up space. We design our garments to physically take up space, boxy, heavy, uncompromising. We design them so that the moment you put them on, you feel the exact same thing that Walmart worker felt in that aisle. I belong to an elite standard. I know exactly who I am. Let's take this a step deeper. True identity cannot be given to you by a corporation, and it cannot be bought off a shelf. It has to be recognized internally and then reinforced by the tribe you choose to run with. That man at Walmart found his confidence within the parameters of his job. That is respectable. But our objective here is different. Our objective is total, unfiltered internal authority. We use the tribe not to conform, but to amplify who we already are. When you look at the landscape of modern culture, everyone is starving for connection. Yet, everyone is profoundly isolated. People are searching for their family in all the wrong places, in digital echo chambers and temporary trends, and validation from strangers online. They're looking for a vest to wear, but they keep picking up rags. The supereminent mindset is about intentional selection. You choose your circle, you choose your uniform, you choose the standard of excellence you are going to uphold. Every time you step out of your house, your walk tells the world exactly what you think of yourself. Your stride reveals your internal architecture. If you are lacking pride, if you are lacking that aura of confidence, it's because you haven't anchored your identity to a vision that is heavy enough to hold you down. You're operating in a low GSM psychological weight. You need substance. You need to belong to a standard that doesn't bend under pressure. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning when you get dressed, I want you to look at what you are putting on your body. Don't just look at the color or the fit. Look at the identity. Ask yourself, what tribe does this represent? What standard am I enforcing when I walk out that door? Am I moving with the pride of a man who belongs to a grand design, or am I just drifting through the aisles of life? Excellence isn't an accident. It is an architectural choice. That worker in the blue vest taught me that identity is the ultimate leverage. It shapes every step, every interaction, and every outcome. Find your tribe, secure your identity, step into your power. This is the standard. This is the society. Stay driven. Stay super eminent. Peace until next time.